So I hadn't planned on doing this, but I'm playing around after last night's class. I'm playing around with like adding in a microphone and using some cool software that is just going to totally level up the video quality and I actually started doing a video, and I still like the thing about hooking in the mic is still something I need to figure out. And one of the things about working on this is that it's like it's just doing so much stuff I don't know how to do. And um and it's like and there's a lot of different categories of things that I absolutely don't know how to do. So it's like with like email, like email software, even things that have to do with updating the website, things that have to do with making better video quality, sound quality, and it's and actually even just even like creating education content. By the way, this flickering, I'm not entirely sure what is creating it because it's not happening here. So there's something that's going on. Um, Hopefully it's not too distracting. Looks like I'm like in, yeah, it's really weird. I don't know if I'm gonna keep go on for very long. So I don't really think that that's like, yeah, I don't know if that's watchable. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna read. Stop talking. I'm just gonna read. We're gonna make some progress here, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. As long as I'm here, as long as you're here, let's do this. And maybe the flickering light is just a good excuse to rest your eyes a little bit and do a sleepy time reading. So this section here, yeah, I'm distracted by it. I'm gonna do it anyway. Figure it out afterwards. So this section, individuality, independence, and freedom, is here on page 121. So when we stand up for our freedom and make decisions that reflect our unique values, we must be prepared, at least initially, to stand on our own. In chapter 7, I discuss activism as the ability to stand for what we care about and believe in. But before we can stand for others, we should be able to stand for ourselves. If we don't find independence in the third hub, we won't have the necessary underpinnings to ascend to increasing levels of self expression in the upper hubs. Instead, we risk experiencing the regret that comes from stifling the expression of our unique truth and giving away too much of ourselves so we can continue to belong in places that accept us under the condition of hiding who we are. This becomes an increasing um like an increasing matter of importance in the next hub. So to stand in our uniquely personal truth, we must first break with invisible forces and wrestle with the impulse to remain hidden and safe. Our individuation can awaken a sleeping giant in some people. They may react by being afraid, may feel threatened, and may project their insecurities onto us. We don't live in a world in which individualism is widely practiced in real life. Only fictional heroes do. During our most vulnerable moments of bravery, the sleeping giants of others' projections and adaptations are often the most unkind. That is, until they see you conquer and succeed. But after the initial dark nights of the soul, and they get dark, our individuality eventually leads to more fulfilled belonging with people who accept us and enrich us for who we are, not for a role we play. Many of us have unseen and unspoken yet ever present conditions of belonging that bind our behavior, profession, clothing, and other forms of self expression. Some family and social bonds require that we either be completely with or against a person or a group, and there can be no in between position. It's understandable that most of us try to hold on to the safety of our in group for as long as possible. It's hard to be an outsider. In the legend of the search for the Holy Grail, King Arthur and his knights each enter a forest alone, at a dark place without a path. Joseph Campbell suggested that if they saw a path, they could know it belonged to someone else. It wasn't theirs. A common narrative frames people who are free as selfish, egotistical, self involved, or even worse, so called crazy. The balancing act between freedom and belonging is a paradox that becomes increasingly nuanced as we move up through the hubs. In the fourth hub, during our early social belonging, spontaneous self expression is put in a bind because our social identity is shaped by a randomly selected happenstance of peers at school, the children of our parents' friends, and the kids in our neighborhood. When we were young, we had to work with what we were given. As adults, we continue to navigate this dichotomy between individuality and belonging in our professional and personal relationships. The balance of authentic self expression and the compromises we make to belong and to be considerate of others are dynamic and ongoing. So the flashing lights is going to like wrap this up pretty early here. But one of the things, and in next week's class, part 2 of Parinoma for Beginners, is we are going to talk about getting on your side, which is assuming positive intent with yourself. And so the importance of getting on your own side is that this is very nuanced, as you see here, which is that this we are dealing with complementary opposites in terms of like kind of this like really kind of extraordinary thing where it's like we're seeking to express ourselves more fully, which separates us from maybe our current cohort, so that the people that feel more true to who we are might recognize us. And even in those relationships there is this kind of back and forth of independence and belonging, which is just core to the human experience. And it begins right, in this ebb and flow of our development, which is developing security first and then becoming adventurous and exploring the world and its senses and its adventures, but then being able to come back to a safe caregiving environment. And I think one of the most important things here about this is that when we are not on our own side and we vilify, moralize, and judge behaviors, the challenge with that is there is no absolute, it's like, well, somebody like being needy shifts into being independent and free. Like, so one of the things is like we are so dynamic that and that to really come to a point of like self-awareness and self-acceptance, and I was about to say like self-mastery, but I think that's kind of like a bridge too far. But um is there's a level of acceptance and like a really deep knowledge that there's nothing wrong with us, and that we are going to contain multitudes, as Walt Whitman said, that we're going to contain paradoxes and things that don't make sense. There's all this like, flip-flopper and doesn't have conviction and all this kind of stuff. But it really kind of it becomes this like sort of odd forcing function about becoming really rigid. So yeah. So yeah, this is, I mean, this is a discussion, but you know what? This flashing thing, this flashing thing is a little extra. So I'm gonna end right now, and I'll talk to you soon. Until next time, love you lots, and bye.